Black and Gold Station 91.5 KGRM. Hello and welcome. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Prez Says. I'm Charleston Talbot, the operations manager here at KGRM on the campus of Grambling State University. And I'm here with none other than President Rick Gallo. And we also have a special guest with us today, Coach Hugh Jackson, newly appointed head coach of the Grambling State University Fighting Tigers. This will be our first episode of Prez Says for the spring 2022 semester, first episode of the year of 2022. And we are just thrilled to have this program going. How we doing today, gentlemen? How we doing this morning?
Hey, Charleston, doing great, man. Thank you so much for getting us kicked off. And of course, definitely appreciate Coach making time or taking a little time from the recruiting trail to come on Prez Says. And so, Coach, thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Thank you, President Gallo. I'm really excited about being here. Obviously, today is the start of our students being back on campus, so it's a great, great day.
Okay. Without any further ado, let's get right to it. Prez, I want to talk about campus opening on schedule rather than being delayed. I know that a lot of the schools in the UL system, I believe all of them, are starting on time. So what was the significance of getting our students, faculty and staff back into the swing of things with getting campus open here, even though we have the new variants popping up of the COVID-19?
Well, the fact of the matter is, we just keep seeing one variant after another. And so, as the UL presidents met virtually with President Jim Henderson, the assistant president, and we talked through the projections and looked at some of the other schools that had delayed their start, and quite frankly, the projections currently are that the numbers will be even higher when these schools who've delayed either a week or 2 weeks, that it'll be higher when they actually start than they are now. And so, I've often said, and I was speaking to Santoria Black, our faculty senate president, I said, we have a long line of really bad options. And so, we just tried to make the best decision collectively as a system that we could based on the information that we have now. So, of course, we're a year pandemic, and I think we have learned a lot of lessons. I think we have a lot of safety protocols in place, and I think we are capable of starting the semester as safely as we possibly can. Again, knowing that we are still in a pandemic, and there are certain things that will continue to be different than life as we knew it prior to March of 2020.
Very good. Coach Jackson, we also have you in the studio this morning. Look, from Cal State to USC to the Cincinnati Bengals, you have a lot of notable organizations that you've been a part of. For listening audience, just a little overview and insight of your journey from transitioning from professional coaching, from what you've done to what we have going on here with Grambling State University and your journey getting here.
Very excited about being here. I think that's the most important part for me. But when I go back and think through my journey, it started in college. I started as a collegiate player myself at the University of Pacific, and immediately got into coaching there and just kind of worked my way up the ladder in the college game, from University of Pacific to Cal State Fullerton. My first opportunity to coach in a pro environment was in the World League over in London. So that was a great opportunity for me out of the state. Being somewhere totally foreign was a little different. And then I came back to Cal State Fullerton, and from there to Arizona State, from Arizona State to Cal, from Cal to USC. And then that started my opportunity into the National Football League. But I always seen myself as a college coach in the beginning until you're not, and so you take the challenge in the National Football League. You become one of the best at your position, one of the best 32 at your position in the league. And so you keep that going and you just keep working up the ladder. So I've had a lot of great things. I'm just grateful and thankful for the opportunities I've had. 2-time NFL head coach in a 101-year history. There's only been 19 of us. So But
Right.
again, all that has been great. But what's most important to me is this opportunity here at Grambling, because there's nothing like it in the world to me.
If you are just tuning in with us, we are live here at the KGRM studios on the campus of Grambling State University for the first episode of Prez Says for the new year. And we are thrilled to have President Rick Gallo and head coach Hugh Jackson in the studio with us. Now, we have a lot of, I guess you could say, infrastructure construction projects going on campus, a lot of growth on campus. Prez, do we have a timeline for some of these projects? I know we have the intramural center and natatorium is ready to go. I know that we had some work done in Woodson as well, and I see foot traffic back through Woodson. So, what kind of timeline are we looking for with the digital library?
Well, with the digital library, we're probably within about 60 days of it being completed. Of course, because of the pandemic, there are still some items that are on back order. There's some doors that have been ordered that are not yet in. So, we're just continuing on with that work that can be done while still waiting on some of those other things. We've got hundreds of computers that we're waiting to come in so we can have those installed and all put into place. But I tell you what, Charles, we are just a little over a year into our master plan process, and I talked to Coach Jackson about this previously, and the fact that we were able to, thanks to Congress, have $87 million in debt that we previously had forgiven certainly puts us at in a great position to be able to invest not only in our academic buildings but also in our athletic facilities and overall across the campus. One of the things that I've talked to him about and we've been very clear about is the fact that we understand the importance of athletics at Grambling. We understand how much a part of our brand is associated with athletics and especially with football. And I certainly want to take a sidestep and mention we're going to be dedicating the floor in the Hobby Assembly Center on Saturday in the name of Willis Reed, our great basketball
Oh yeah.
player, and retiring his jersey on Saturday night. So certainly football is not the only sport that we have made notable had notable alums in. But of course, football is a tremendous part of that. And so, as you look at the evolving landscape and the focus that's on HBCU football, especially, look, we're going to invest in those facilities and provide Coach Jackson and his staff with the facilities they need in order to have the top quality program that Coach has promised us he wants to see, and we've promised him that we will help and support and invest in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Coach, when we talk about precautions we can take for student athletes, how do we keep athletes in general safe during the pandemic when we're in such close quarters like weight rooms, locker rooms, and the sport is very interpersonal. So it's a contact sport as well. So how do we ensure that we keep our students and the staff with the team safe during these times?
I think it's so important to first understand the knowledge, right? I think knowledge is power in this situation. I think making sure that our student athletes understand the social distancing rules and then understanding wearing masks, but more so than that, understanding who is vaccinated and who is not vaccinated, who's received their booster at this time. It's so important to make sure that we do our part that way as well. And every day that we touch our young men and women, I think we need to educate them even more on washing our hands and making sure they do everything they can to sanitize areas. We all have to it's like having all hands on deck. Everybody has to help everybody because it might not be you. It just might be somebody next to you that didn't do something. So if we can do just a great job of giving everybody the information they need, I think we can kind of corral this the best we can.
Great, great. If you're just tuning in, we are here live in the studios for Prez Says. We have Coach Hugh Jackson and President Rick Gallo in the studio with us. Now, another thing that I want to touch on, President Gallo, is the Homeland Security proposal and how that coincides with what we have going on campus. Do we have any updates that you could share with us on that proposal?
So, and of course, what you're talking about is in terms of our campus safety plan. And again, I go back to the fact that we've been working on our campus master plan for right at a year now, and there hadn't been one done in over 15 years. So certainly that whole process is long overdue. One of the things that we're very excited about is the fact that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has provided us with resources and with personnel who are doing an assessment of our entire campus, and not just the physical aspects of the campus, but also our technology, our cyber defenses, because of course, people are constantly, trying to hack into our system and to other systems all around the world. So the Homeland Security personnel have been great in terms of walking through every building on this campus and surveying every area of the campus to help us to develop what will be, I believe, the best opportunity to keep our campus community safe, our students, faculty, staff. There's a whole nother layer of it in terms of special events, ensuring that when we have our first home game and Coach Jackson is leading the Tigers to victory here on campus, that we will have a much more detailed special events plan that will ensure that we will secure our campus and have it as secure as the Super Bowl. And so we're very grateful to have the Department of Homeland Security providing this service to us. And it is, a part of what they do, and is not costing us any additional funds to do it. So as we go forward with that plan, we'll be discussing more about it, and of course utilizing our campus community and other stakeholders to be a part of the direction that we're going in.
All right. Coach, people may be aware of your prowess on field and your coaching record, but off the field, you're no slouch either. I do want to touch on the Hugh Jackson Foundation and what it has done in its efforts to bring awareness to human trafficking. January is National Human Trafficking Prevention and Awareness Month. I think tomorrow is actually National Prevention Day and Awareness Day. So can you give us a little information about the Hugh Jackson Foundation and what you all have going on for this month?
Absolutely. We started this foundation, myself and my wife, back in 2017, the Hugh Jackson Foundation, which started in Cleveland. We have partnered with the Salvation Army. We have uh, a residence in the Harbor Light District of the Salvation Army where we house human trafficking victims. We wanted to provide an opportunity for these victims to come to a place where they could feel safe, where they could get resources to give them the best chance to matriculate back into everyday life. It is one of the biggest growing issues in our country today. It's $1 billion industry. We're going to continue to fight this. And again, we want anybody to help. But again, it goes back to understanding what human trafficking is. And what we try to do is provide the information to give people the signs of what that looks like and how we can combat it, because it is definitely, it's an issue against humanity. And for people to be bought and sold, it's really very bad. And so we're going to continue to fight this as we continue to move forward.
Okay. I have some numbers here showing that 32% of the victims that are trafficked, they're normally trafficked by family members. What can citizens do to, I guess, limit or ensure that they're not victimized in some kind of way as we bring
I,
awareness to?
I think you have to understand the signs first and foremost. So it goes back to education. I think people look for little areas where they can dig into young people's lives, and it happens to men and women alike, And so I think people don't understand that this is a huge issue, and so you have to understand what that looks like first and foremost. a young girl that all of a sudden walks into a facility and a guy is commenting on her hair or something to make her feel good because maybe there's something she's missing at home. And so that particular person kind of digs into that, and you look up, and now this person's been trafficked. And it, like you said, it might be somebody in your own family, and that's very, very disappointing.
Okay, well, I'm hearing the music, so I believe that means we have to take a quick break. You are listening to 91.5 KGRM. This is Prez Says, and we'll be back after this short break.
Local weather, and more. There's even a map that'll show you exactly where you are on campus so that you can get to where you need to be. In your free time, you can stay up to date with the latest social media posts from the Grambling State University, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So head over to the App Store and download the Grambling State mobile app today.
What is Grambling? Grambling is growing. It's a community. Grambling is an education, an experience. Grambling is legacy, tradition, and the future. What is Grambling? Grambling is all of this and more. Grambling is the place where everybody is somebody.
Is because the lack of African American representation on the registry. It's our responsibility to register. This is something that we can control. You can do this. Think about if it was your child. Think about if it was your sister.
The world-famed Tiger Marching Band presents Click It or Ticket. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Okay, we are back here live at KGRM Studios. It is a little bit after the 18 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour. I'm Charles Talbert, Operations Manager here at KGRM, and we are here for first episode of Prez Says of the spring 2022 semester. If you're just joining us, we have Coach Hugh Jackson in the studio with us, as well as President Rick Gallo. So if we're talking about campus and we're talking about safety, Prez Gallo, are we implementing any type of curfews this semester on campus, or what are our plans as far as some of the safety protocols we're putting in place?
Sure. So we met with Cameron Jackson, our student government president, as well as Ms. Grambling, Faith Daniels, before the end of the fall semester to talk about it from a student perspective, and our curfew, which was 9 p.m. Back in the fall, and the opportunity to extend that. And what we came up with was a midnight curfew that also provides the opportunity for the cafeteria to remain open for that additional time as well. So, right now we are, operating by a midnight to 6 a.m. curfew on campus, which, I guess if you're in college and you're studying and here to learn, that's reasonable time to not be out and about. And so again, all of these decisions that we've made have been in consultation with our student leaders, and we will continue to keep them involved in any of the decisions that we make. Charles, I did want to kind of go back to the focus on Coach Jackson's foundation, and just to commend him not only for he and his wife's vision to help those who are quite often very helpless, but I think it speaks to the quality and the character of Coach Jackson, not just on the field but off the field, and this is an area that doesn't always get a lot of publicity. You don't get a lot of headlines for doing work to help human trafficking victims. There's so many other things that seem to grab the headlines these days. And again, I think that speaks to his character as a man, as someone who has leveraged his celebrity, has leveraged his resources and his network to provide assistance to those who are oftentimes in no position at all to help themselves. So again, I just wanted to commend him, and again say that in terms of the decision that was made to with Coach Jackson's hiring, that's a part of it, not just what he's doing on the field, but what he does off the field that often goes unnoticed, but is so incredibly impactful because it actually directly benefits those who really need the help the most.
Absolutely, absolutely. Definitely commendable work indeed. Definitely something that you do want to put awareness on, especially here in the month of January. I wanted to talk about our spring lineup of events. Um, I know that normally in the spring we have our events like Tiger Fest or our Martin Luther King celebration. Do we have any updates on any of our events that we have going on here in the spring, Mr. Gallo?
Well, we're working on those, and as we continue to develop our campus safety plan, we're very mindful of making sure that our students have the opportunity to have activities that they're able to engage in and be a part of, but at the same time, still being mindful of the need to limit the access of non-students and others to campus and these types of activities. So again, we'll be working closely with FSUB and SGA and student affairs to make sure that again we're providing opportunities for our students. The other part of it is that we are still in a pandemic. So many of the student activities that have been planned are virtual right now, just simply because of the limitation of things that we can safely do still in a pandemic. So we're always going to try and strike a good balance, but at the same time making sure that we can do this do it safely.
If you are just tuning in with us, we are here with President Gallo and Coach Hugh Jackson here for this latest episode of Prez Says. I do want to know, I know when I'm driving like westward towards Simsboro, like out toward the plant, we still have West Campus. Are we utilizing West Campus in any ways right now, or what's going on with our West Campus facilities?
Well, of course, we're utilizing the housing for certain faculty and staff who are living out there. There's probably at least one call a week that I get about West Campus and potential
Mm-hmm.
opportunities out there. And so, we are also situated in what's called an opportunity zone, which is a tax incentive for capital investors. So we just had a call on Thursday or Friday of last week with some potential investors there as well. So those conversations are continuing. We've had inquiries from a lot of emerging technology companies, and so it's really exciting as we are looking towards the future and how we develop that area. There are a lot of opportunities, and we have the property, so we have a lot of options there.
Yes, gotta make sure that we use all the options that we have to us here. Coach, I do want to. I know football season is a way away, but I do want to ask: how are we looking on any plans for local recruitment? Got a lot of local talent here in the tri-state area, but specifically here in North Louisiana. Do we have any local recruitment plans? I don't want you to give away too much of your strategy, but is there anything insight you can give us on that with recruitment?
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think this is a strategy when it comes to local recruiting. I think that's what we have to do. We need to build a fence around the state of Louisiana and make sure that we just infiltrate this area and impact the coaches about what Grambling has to offer. And we're going to do everything we can by opening our doors and creating some clinics on Thursday nights so coaches can come down and get a chance to meet us, see what we're really all about, understand what we're trying to accomplish here, because they are going to be huge in our success as we move forward.
Awesome.
Well, you know,
Awesome
and
to hear
Charles,
that.
I could just add one of the things I've been hearing here locally from some of the coaches. As a matter of fact, one of the Ruston High coaches I saw, and he said, "Prez, I just appreciate everything that Coach Jackson and his staff are doing in recruiting local players." So yeah, I've been hearing from folks in Jonesboro and
Great.
Ruston and
Yeah.
all across North Louisiana and Monroe and Shreveport. I mean, all parts in between. So I'm definitely excited. I know there's a certain all-state defensive end who got a call from Coach Jackson. He was really excited about that. So yeah, we're real excited about just the energy. And if you, Charles, if you look at all the social media following just over the holidays when the rest of us were just trying to get rest, apparently Coach Jackson and his coaches were out recruiting and in some
Right.
areas that in some other folks' backyards, and so that's been
Yep.
really exciting just to see all that energy that has been put into it, and folks are following. I mean, closely. Anytime somebody's offered a scholarship or whatever, our fans are following and trying to encourage those young men to commit. So yeah, it's been real fun to watch. It really has been.
It really has been an exciting time for not only just SWAC football but HBCU football in general. It kind of feels like hungry hippos. Like everybody's trying to make a mad grab for the best players, the best coaching. Coach, I know you did spend some time with Texas State last semester. So can you speak on the importance of, I guess, like our African American youth paying more attention to HBCUs more than they have statistically in the past when it comes to
Absolutely. I'll say it again, and I said this at my press conference and I meant it wholeheartedly. Why not Grambling State University? Why would you not come to school here? You're going to get a great education. You're going to play in one of the greatest conferences, in my opinion. I know everybody wants to talk about the SEC, but I think we see the excitement that is happening in the HBCUs. And to me, Grambling is in the HBCU. We were and are the king of the HBCUs, and we need to get it right and get back to where we need to be. And that's exactly what we're planning on doing. So I would tell any young student athlete that you can play some great football at Grambling State University, but you also can get a great education. So why not come here and give yourself the best opportunity you can to realize all your goals and aspirations and dreams? Come do it here.
right. Great day to be a Tiger. Why not Grambling State University? I like that mentality because if especially with our local recruiting, I like what you said about building a fence around Louisiana. So many times you see such great players. Texas will swoop them up. California will swoop them up. So it's really important to keep those key players in Louisiana because it's great for retention. It keeps the schools buzz going on, and it's just another great recruitment tool to keep students on the HBCU train, so to speak. I'm hearing the music in my headphones, so I think that means it's time for another break. We will be back here live on 91.5 KGRM for Prez Says. See you.
It's about connecting donors with patients like me. And when everyone joins our fight against blood cancer, your race, my race, can experience what we all deserve. Life.
Grambling State University app is here, and the features make it 100 times easier for you to navigate through the semester. Get direct access to your grades, student email, your Tiger One card, news, the KGRM radio station, campus events, local weather, and more. There's even a map that'll show you exactly where you are on campus so that you can get to where you need to be. In your free time, you can stay up to date with the latest social media posts from the Grambling State University Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So head over to the App Store and download the Grambling State mobile app today.
All right, we are back here on 91.5 KGRM. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us here. We do have audience from the airwaves and from YouTube as we get used to kicking off the simulcast and just trying to reach a broader audience with the broadcast here. Now, Prez, I do want to follow up. We were speaking about local recruitment before the break. How does local recruitment impact our ticket sales? And when we talk about, I guess, family members coming to see other family members and things of that nature, how does that impact us as far as ticket sales go?
Well, look, and I'll hit it a little bit, and then of course pass it off to Coach. But certainly when you have local players, their families want to come and see them play, and not only that, but they buy T-shirts, they buy other merchandise, everything from caps and just everything. And so I think we have to understand this is it's athletics, but this is business. Okay. And so, and I can recall when we played University of Houston last year and just kind of looking over the stadium, but also going through the suites areas and seeing how much business was being conducted at a football game. And so I think, that's one of the things that, and certainly, we've talked about it with Coach Jackson. He gets it. He understands the importance of the brand and monetizing the brand. And again, I think this is a great time to have someone of his business acumen, as well as with Dr. Scott, our vice president of intercollegiate athletics. They get it. They understand that this is business, and we've got to approach it like it's business, and make sure that we are monetizing and taking advantage of the opportunities that are available because of this very recognizable brand.
Very well, very well. Coach, I want to touch on your approach when it comes to building with players on and off the field, the importance of the student aspect of student athletes, like just your take on what it takes to build a well-rounded individual off the field as well.
Well, I think you said it. The great men that I know and the great men that have come before me, they wasn't just great football players. They were also great students. And I kind of believe it goes hand in hand. I don't think you can be a really good football player if you're not a really good student as well, because there's so many crossovers there, in my opinion. So we're going to approach it that way. And everything we do is going to make sure we create the right environment for our players first to be very good students. And then we will work on them becoming better football players and really good football players. We're going to make sure that we give our players every opportunity to realize their goals in the classroom. We have great academic advisors here, that they have resources that will help them be the best they can be in the classroom. No different. We have some of the best coaches here that are going to help them be great football players. So I truly believe it goes hand in hand, and we're going to make sure our players truly understand that.
Very good, very good. President Gallo, one of the programs that we touched on last semester that I'm interested in how it's going is the Call Me Mr. program, when we talk about our students and their involvement. It seems like the Call Me Mr. program would be a pretty solid recruitment effort too, as well. Can you give us a little more information about how that program is going?
Absolutely, it is growing by leaps and bounds, and of course, there's a certain young man, Jaderick Talbert, who is very instrumental in the success of that program, who serves as the president of the Misters. When you think about the fact that only 2% of classroom teachers across America are African American males, I think it says we have to do a better job of recruiting and retaining young men in the major of education. And quite often, I think we as a community don't embrace teaching in a way that helps our young men and young ladies. To see teaching as a legitimate career path, as a viable career path. Of course, there's so much of, oh, well, you should be an NFL player, or you should, do all of these celebrity things. And look, everybody needs a teacher, and you have an opportunity to impact the lives of those that you've been entrusted to teach. And so, when you think about what Coach Jackson does, and teaching and molding those players that he has an opportunity to come in contact with, Call Me Mr. really embodies who we started as an institution. The first bachelor's degree we awarded was in teacher education. There were 59 graduates, only one male. So we want to make sure that we really lean in and invest in this program as we've been doing. And of course, Dr. Knopflin, who runs the Call Me Mr. program in concert with Clemson University, and Dr. Roy Jones over at Clemson. Look, it's going great. We need to see if we can get some more of Coach Jackson's players majoring in teacher education, and helping them to understand the importance of not only contributing on the field, but being able to see life after sports. Because Coach, nobody plays forever, right?
No, they don't. Absolutely.
So, Coach, what, in your opinion, when we talk about post graduation for athletes specifically, what field do you see your players that you've worked with in the past? What fields do you see them particularly drifting towards post graduation once they leave the ranks with you and you've finished with them?
It's really become broadcasting. Guys are starting more podcasts. Guys are doing more social media things than ever before. And I know we've had a huge craze that way. But at the same time, I just want to backtrack. I mean, why not become a really good teacher? There's so many young men that want to give back in so many different ways. That's one of the best ways to do it. Because up here, we as coaches truly believe we're master teachers at what we do. But some of the greatest teachers I've ever been influenced by was my elementary school teacher. It was my middle school teacher. Right. It was my high school teacher, because they instilled something in me and they left me with a piece of them, so that later on in life I could recall some of those lessons that I learned. So I always hear young men say they want to be able to give back, and they think it's really about the dollar of giving back, but it's really not. It's really about the experience of giving back, of the things you've learned in your lifetime, to be able to hand it back to somebody so they can pass it forward.
Great. And I think that's so important especially when we're talking about our HBCU graduates. And you're right. You do see a lot of athletes post career going into the broadcast field. That's definitely something that could intertwine, especially when we're talking about our players here and our mass communications department here on campus. Just little things from being interview ready as a student versus not being interview ready. It's just some of the things that I know our young men and women here on campus, they seem to be doing pretty well at. So I commend all our coaching staff here on campus. If you're just tuning in, we are here live with Prez Says, with President Rick Gallo and head coach Hugh Jackson. Do we have any, I know we're wrapping up and winding down here, but do we have any words of encouragement for not only our faculty and staff, but our student body when it comes to getting back in the classroom, getting back on the field, and just staying safe through these times?
Well, the first thing I'll say is that, and more so quoting Dr. Jim Henderson, our system president, you know, we all recognize we are still in a pandemic, and we thought that with the various variants that have come along that, oh, well, this is the last one, this is the last. Well, no, what we see going forward is that in all likelihood the variants will continue to come. So, as things change, we have to be nimble enough to adjust and be prepared for these variants as they come, and the different challenges that are created. So, the main thing I can say is that masking is so incredibly important, whether you're vaccinated or not. Wearing a mask will greatly reduce the likelihood that you will transmit or it will be transmitted to you. And so again, we're learning. I don't think there's anybody who really knows everything about this pandemic right now. I don't know that anybody ever will know everything, but as we collectively, and it's so unfortunate that there's so much politics that has been intertwined into the conversation around COVID. This is something that impacts everybody, old, young, black, white, Democrat, Republican. There's no demographic uh, in the world who's not potentially impacted by this pandemic. So we've got to stay prayed up. We've got to think about our neighbor as we think about ourselves, and make sure we're doing everything that we do to protect ourselves. It's kind of like when you're flying on an airplane and they go through the safety. Uh, uh, in the beginning, they talk about the safety protocols, and they say put your mask on first, and then the person next to you. The same thing here. Put your mask on first, and then
Right.
worry about your neighbor secondly. So again, I just think that's so important as we navigate forward.
All right, Coach Prez. I know our time is winding down here. The time always goes so fast when we're doing these shows. Uh, Coach Jackson, do you have any leaving comments that you would like to leave our listening audience with and our Tiger football fans with while we have you here?
Oh, absolutely. First, I would just like to thank all of the Graham family for the way they've really embraced me and the coaching staff. I mean, it's been phenomenal. Social media is definitely a tool. Our brand is alive and well. And I think we're doing a great job. I'm talking about our fans of really helping us create an environment for the players that are coming here to understand truly what the Graham family is all about. And I thank you. And we need to keep this going and we need to finish strong. But while here, we got to do a great job, as President Gallo said, of understanding that really it's changed. I mean, we're in a different time. COVID is here to stay. So I have to do a great job with the rest of our staff of making sure we put our players in the best situation so that we can have them. Because we know if these guys get affected by that, we lose them for a period of time, and we respect that. So we got to do a great job of making sure, one, our players understand exactly what this is to the best of their knowledge. We don't know exactly what this is, but we know wearing masks will help tremendously. It's not just because you're vaccinated or boosted means that you cannot get it. And I think that's what people got to truly understand, because I think there's a little bad information out there that way. But then we have to do everything we can to create the right environments for our players to be great students and great football players. And I think we're well on our way to doing that.
Very
Yeah,
good.
hey,
Very
fellas,
good.
I did want to follow up on that thought with Coach Jackson. When I came in as president back in 2016, we did a Facebook Live, and we had 25,000 views on that. And I thought, man, this is amazing. This is a great number. Never could have imagined that much. Well, fast forward, one of our players, Chad Williams, was drafted in the third round to the Arizona Cardinals, and we had a video team there with him when he got the call that he was being drafted. 300,000 views of Chad being drafted, and so that certainly put it in perspective to me, just how big athletics and especially football is here. Not that I didn't know it before, but when you see the data and the hard numbers, there's no denying the fact that there is power in social media and our athletic brand. And so again, Coach, you get it, and I'm just so excited that you are leading our team, and just really excited to have you as part of the Graham fam now.
Glad to be here.
All right. It looks like we're about, well, no, I'm hearing music in my headphones here. So I think we're going to go ahead and take this final one and wrap things up. You have been listening to Prez Says here on 91.5 KGRM. Thank everybody for joining in, and we will see you next time.
One of the main reasons I did decide to join the registry is because the lack of African American representation on the registry. It's our responsibility to register. This is something that we can control. You can do this. Think about if it was your child. Think about if it was your sister.